Hey folks, welcome back to another episode of Three Slips and Silly Points. We've got our usual crew back in our regular positions, all gearing up for IPL. We got Randeep at third slip, and he's bringing in all the silly points today because it's all about IPL. We got Raj. We got Raj at second slip. Is all ready to catch the ball. A high flying slip catcher. There you go. And I'm standing at first slip. And I'm gonna be the host. We're gonna talk about. I mean, done a brief overview of all the IPL teams uh, straight after the auction, but we've got a lot of new captains this season and few that have changed squads and few that have been retained or continuing as captains since last season. So we'll just go through the 10 captains and talk about what to expect, what's and finally we'll do a quick high level prediction on who's gonna be lifting the cup after 2 months. All right. So given it is IPL and we've got Randeep, who's got tons of knowledge of every single team and player in the IPL world. His favorite topic, right? I'm gonna go real easy on you, Randeep, today.
You can pick the first captain.
Yeah. All right, Randeep. Yes.
Oh my god, I hate you, man.
Kick us off, Randeep. Kick one.
All right, let's. We'll start with Gujarat.
Oh yeah. So, who's the
Yeah,
captain?
Mr. Gill.
Okay.
All right, good
Kokotali.
one.
Yeah.
Ah, so Gill
I think we've
is he's
similar
one of
glimpse
the.
to. Yeah,
Uh,
go, try.
now I was going to say he's one of the very few players that is continuing as a captain of the same team from last season. I think there are about
With a
four or five.
different with a
Gi-
different back sticker though.
Hmm. All right, there's a change. Yeah. Mr. MRF. Mr. MRF.
Oh, he's
I don't know.
changed his bat.
Me. Yeah, the
Yeah,
Hedge
he's a
Milau.
MRF now. He's a
See,
big dog now.
big
Yeah,
man.
big man, big
Well,
man.
literally big dog, big man now because he's with Steve Waugh, Brian Lara, Tendulkar, ABD,
Mm,
and
yeah.
now Gill.
Virat Kohli, dude. You left
Oh,
you
yeah,
left
sorry,
Virat Kohli
sorry.
in between.
Yeah, I don't remember these small players. It's all good.
Ah.
Oh.
Uh, yeah, he's shown glimpse of his captaincy previously as well. He's the supposedly the future captain of Team India. Uh,
At least in ODIs.
in
Mm.
ODIs, yeah, 100%. Number one batter in ODI, so he's probably one of the informed batters going into the tournament too.
I don't
Probably.
know how
I
many runs did
tagged
he
it.
score? How many runs did he score in the Champions Trophy? Right?
Well, I don't know.
Not a lot is the answer. Not a lot.
Yeah.
I
Different
actually reckon
ball.
he's coming in. Yeah, but coming in with lesser runs, more
Hmm.
pressure, and especially his runs dried up after the bat sticker change. Just an observation.
Ouch. Ouch.
Just an observation.
Um,
It takes time. Takes time. Like another sport
yeah.
we recently just finished up, Chai. Takes time when you switch teams. Which button is what? So it's gonna take a while.
um, but to me, Gil's always been one of those. I mean, I've never seen that aggressive or proactive style of captaincy coming out. He's one of those that goes with he's very subtle in terms of his approach towards captaincy. He's very calm, which is good. But I haven't seen that sort of an impact-based change, right? He does something out of blue and pulls
Mm.
a magic a rabbit out of hat. I've never seen that sort of captaincy approach in the last couple of years.
Yeah, but I think he's still fairly young, so I think he follows the template. I
Mm.
think Ashish Nehra is the coach, right,
Mm.
for Gujarat right now. Yes, I
Yeah.
think even last year it was him, and whatever template he cooks up for them, he follows it to the T and he executes it really well. So far, that's what we've seen. But the problem is that just means that he needs a lot of input from the outside. Um, and we just hope that by the time he gets to the level where he's going to lead the national team, has developed the instinct to react to what's happening out there. But yeah, I think Gill's gonna be the man. They'll probably. I have a feeling they're a fairly decent team, top four contenders. As long as Gill fires at the top with the runs. Like I want Gill to have the season Gawley had in 2016. Give us that 900.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
I think this IPL will be a good test if he can, like, move out of the template cookie cutter captain strategy. I think it'll be pretty good.
Especially
Yeah.
because last season was so the limelight wasn't even on his captaincy. It was all about Pandya leaving Gujarat and going to
Mm.
Mumbai. So his captaincy
Yeah.
was like under the radar. But now that
Hopefully.
all of that's settled, people are going to talk about his captaincy if he because I still remember in the first season when Pant captained, um,
Mm.
he messed up the bowlers like bowling overs calculation. So at the end, he had two people that like their top bowlers who hadn't bowled all their overs. Then he like overused the part timers who got smashed, and you should have seen Ponting's face. So like at least Gill hasn't done any of that stuff
Nah.
in the first season of his work. Yeah.
I think
So,
that's a safe start. That's a safe start.
Yeah. Follow instructions.
all right. Moving on to what I call as Mr. IPL, because his most of his performance has come good only in IPL. Sanju Samson,
Oh yeah.
Rajasthan Royals.
Yeah.
I mean, the team's
Kind
banked
of a
on him
veteran to be
for,
honest.
yeah, exactly. He's stuck with or Rajasthan Royals and Sanju have been invested in each other's success for way for a long time. I mean, I can only think after Virat Kohli at RCB, if I can correlate a player and a franchise, apart from
Mm.
CSK, because I don't do that because they were not in the picture for a couple of years. Different story. But Sanju and RR have invested on each other for a while, and we know Sanju is a completely different person when it's IPL.
Yeah. I just want him to not score runs at the start of the tournament because that's how he always starts the tournament. He scores like a massive 100 or a really
Mm.
fast 50 in the first like two or three matches, and then he just tapers out for the rest of it. He's like, "I'm gassed, boys. All my
Oh
runs are gone. This is what
man.
time to wake up." So maybe let's
Do
not score
do
runs at
like
the
every
start of the
break.
tournament. Yeah.
Just be like, I'll play game one, game two, or just take a rest. Do game three, or come back.
Maybe just skip the first three games, and then maybe he'll just score all the runs. But no, I think he's a veteran captain now, right? For RR, like he's
Mm,
been
Mm.
captain for the last like 3 or 4 years at least since Butler quit
mm,
the captaincy, I think. Um,
yeah.
he actually has a decent win loss ratio too. So
Mm.
he's captain 61, he's won 31 games and lost 29 and tied one. So not a bad
Just
record,
about
A
especially
50.
for a
decent.
Yeah,
Yeah,
T20.
just
not
about
bad.
50. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but again, I think he needs to score more runs. But I feel like with his aggressive mindset, it's just difficult to be as consistent. But
Mm.
he's got the potential to score runs, and he does it the first couple matches. I don't know what happens for the rest of them.
It's
Like
got a pretty
Amsterdam
decent
had,
team to,
yeah,
yeah. It's got a pretty decent team to kind of, yeah, have some really competitive games.
Mm, yeah.
I feel like there'll be another episode for this team chat because I've, yeah,
Yeah, I
I have a
think
feeling.
we'll deep dive into the teams probably once or twice a week, just targeted on the games.
Yeah,
Because, yeah,
yeah,
we got 70 games coming up our way.
yeah. But I feel like with Samson, I think, if he's scoring runs, his captaincy also improves by magnitudes because I think he like feels probably a lot more confident, right, to take risky calls. So I feel like
Yeah.
that part of his captaincy diminishes with time in other tournaments
Mm,
where he does really well. They actually win the game. One, because he scores like at a very fast rate anyway. But I think the calls that he makes at the end of the tournament, maybe it's under pressure that hey, I need to make it to the top four or whatever it is.
mm.
He doesn't like his captaincy literally diminishes it by the
Mm.
end of the tournament. How many
Sounds like an
playoffs have they
overthinker.
made in the last like few years? Do we know?
Sorry?
Stats guy can tell us. How many playoffs have they made in the last like few years? I
I
can't
don't
remember.
think I don't think they've made much. They've
Not
made
many.
much.
So I'm pretty sure they were in the
It's
playoffs
been
last year,
a
right?
real
No?
flaky
Yeah.
tournament for them.
Do we know anything about IPL?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they smashed them. So Rajasthan
Sorry.
Royals were in the playoffs last year.
Mm,
Yeah, but not quite a lot, right? It's
Yeah.
been one of those. They've been always one of those teams that, as you said, first half of the tournament they are in that top four, and then somehow drop down the ladder pretty soon.
They always get the head start. I think it's them and Kings 11 even have a very similar record. But Kings 11 taper off even worse.
They
We'll
hit the
get to it.
ground real hard towards the
Yeah.
end. We'll get to them. But let's move on to one of the most controversial captain from last season, Hardik Pandya for
Oh yeah.
Mumbai. The player that got booed real hard, not for a decision or choice of his, but how the franchise treated a veteran
mm,
in the squad. Um, he's had tremendous tournaments since the IPL. He didn't have a really good outing, and they probably finished, I think at the bottom of the table, if I'm not wrong, or just a step above the bottom. But since then, the man's been part of two World Cup or two white ball cricket victories tournaments, T20 World Cup, ICC Champions Trophy. As such, for me, he led. And there's no doubt on his leadership skills there because he's led the previous team successfully to a trophy as well in IPL. But this year, I feel he's going to turn up more aggressive, and I feel dust is settled in that Mumbai camp. The PR team have done a pretty good job to recover from their all-time low from last year.
Nah. More than the PR, I think it's literally Pandu doing an amazing job in all of these world events. So I think the sentiment towards him has just moved, like especially after the T20
mm.
World Cup. Like you just saw,
Oh,
like
Yeah.
everyone, like unanimously were just like, he's the man.
and
And he knows
Rod,
it because he's rocking it.
Yeah.
um,
That,
my my biggest concern is that Mumbai team is full of captains, right? Captains of white ball cricket, captains of red ball cricket, Indian and international captains, and I feel. I mean, it all will come down to the dressing room culture by the end, but Pandya can be termed captain of captains because you can count at least 5 to 6 captains in that squad.
But I think that was the problem last year because there was so much talk about this. But I think this year the sentiment's completely different. It's
Mm.
absolutely reversed now. I think because
which
the
I
thing
said,
is,
right? It's quieting down. Like now, it's
yeah,
just going to be focusing on okay, let's
Yeah,
win a trophy again, right?
yeah.
Like let's yeah,
And the
and
team looks so solid. I'd be surprised if they don't make
yeah.
the playoffs this year because
yeah,
they're all very happy also, which they weren't last year.
true. Yeah, and every time Mumbai has finished out of playoffs the previous season,
Hmm.
they turn up as a different squad in the next season and are either, playoffs is for sure. It's the question is, they also make it to the finals and very close to getting a trophy as well. So it's one seriously challenging squad, and I must say, Pandya is probably has got the highest chances of picking up that trophy this year.
Ooh,
Oh.
I don't know. I don't.
Early
I feel
calls,
like
early calls.
I see them. I see them in the playoffs, but I don't know about winning the trophy. I mean, they've already won the WPL, so surely could have done.
Share the success, share the tricks.
Yeah. But like the other thing is, I think Bumrah's not going to be available for the first few matches. Who's going to replace him? Like, there's so many doubts around that team. Um,
But I
and
mean,
Bumrah not being in an ODI squad and in India winning is different from Bumrah not being in a T20 squad and not winning. For example, 30 of 30. Can anyone else defend that? I don't know.
they do have I mean, Bumrah is a very big factor for them, but I feel that they've got depth in that squad to see through. Right, he's not available for the first four odd games, but Mumbai is that one squad that can probably win the rest 10 back to back and still make it to playoffs, despite losing the first four, right?
They couldn't do it last year.
Yeah, again, last year was completely different. There was no harmony in that. I mean, since walking into your home ground at your home ground and the commentator having to remind people to behave is an all-time low in cricket world, and that sort of explained the season for Mumbai last year.
And as Chai
I think,
said, Raj, that every year there's a slightly different team.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
But
could be.
that's the crazier part. The core of the only team to have one of the only teams to have the same core going into a massive auction was
Yeah.
Mumbai Indians.
Mumbai, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
This is the only team that's not slightly different.
Talking about the only team with the core intact and a team that have maintained the core intact for a long time, despite not playing for 2 years, is CSK. Let's move to. Damn, I forgot his name.
Dhoni? You forgot Dhoni?
Ruturaj Gaikwad. Who? This is a thing. This is a thing with Gaikwad at this point. He's still under the shadows of Dhoni, or people still consider him playing under the shadows of Dhoni. For this is third season for him. He's one of 5 retained captains for the same franchise this season. Yeah, I mean, poor guy. I still feel everyone, even the umpires, were confused last year on the field where they were checking with Dhoni if he wants to go for DRS, and Dhoni had to remind them, no, look at Gaikwad, he's the captain.
But I feel like that's gonna happen until
Until he leaves.
retires.
Yeah.
Until
And
one last
potentially
time.
literally one last time.
Yeah, let's do it more, Scott.
Now, but I think this might actually be that one last year though, surely, because the man ruined his knees, got them replaced or got them fixed last year, because he couldn't even run last year. So I thought he was just coming in and bashing the ball because why not? But turns out it's because he couldn't run. The man played top level cricket with no knees. Are you kidding me?
He's the good thing. I mean, again, like always, CSK. We stopped talking about Gaikwad. We're talking about Dhoni here as well, which pretty much. But the man kept wickets for the entire 20 overs. There were no replacements for him. But yeah.
Yeah, but and it wasn't like his level of keeping had dropped.
Exactly.
It was still
yeah.
He was still jumping and diving around.
Yeah.
You see him now.
But,
he's still Jack. He's still very fit.
And his strike rate last year was over 200. He would just come in and try and bosh the ball. Yeah,
bring
let's go
it
back to
back
Rutu.
to the
Bring it. I
captain,
was gonna
the
say.
captain, which is essentially the problem, that happens with
CSK.
Gaikwad.
Yeah.
You talk about CSK, and no one talks about Gaikwad. As much as he's shown glimpses, he's shown that he's got the potential, but he's been mentored and nurtured by Dhoni, all for the right reasons. Right? He's grooming them, and team is
But
grooming Ruturaj.
that's how at least he should look at it. Where, hey, I know
Mm.
the limelight's on Dhoni, which also means all my bad decisions are Dhoni's. Um,
Exactly.
and I get to learn from someone who's done it at the best level and he's performed at the best level. So you know what? It's all good.
Yeah. This year, they've got Ash coming back, so there's a big. I mean, already they've got one of the biggest, you know, uh, advantages of that home team support, despite not playing at home.
Yeah.
Go back to the Mumbai versus CSK game last year in Wankhede, and it was a sea of yellow. With Ash returning, homecoming of Ash to CSK, uh, and so he's got some really big veterans in the squad that he could
Mm.
pick off. But my gut feel or my hope from Gaikwad is this year he does it himself rather than leaning on them. Yep, talk to them off the field, but on the
Mm.
field, I I'm expecting Gaikwad to take control and take charge, which we know it's not
Let's
going to
see.
happen,
Let's
but
see.
still.
Yeah, I was about.
Yeah, I feel like
Let's see.
it's impossible, especially knowing how Ash is. He's a very strong character. I mean,
Hmm.
in one of the local games, he DRS.
Yeah.
So
No,
he,
yeah, he Ash is quite vocal. Ash is quite. I mean, even you see he yells at players from the dugout for not taking singles. So it'll be an interesting challenge for Gaikwad, and I think this is all good learning for him because eventually, a point in time, every player will have to captain few legends in the squad.
Mm.
yeah.
So yeah, it's a learning curve. It's a good
For
learning
me,
curve to have.
for me, more than captaincy from Rutu, I just want him to score runs because I feel like last few goals he's had in the national team, he's had the same problem as Kohli, just nicking off the
Mm.
fifth, sixth stump line and getting caught in the slips. He needs to have a big season again. Like I know he's been very consistent in the IPL. Like almost every other year he's gotten the orange cap, but
Yeah.
he needs to do it this year just to make a statement because he's also getting old now, right? Like he's been around for so long. Um, he needs to be in the national reckoning, which he is not. Um,
Yeah.
and
And
He's
yeah,
only 28. You said he's getting old.
oh, he's
yeah,
getting old for cricket.
20,
No,
He's only
you
got
just.
5 more years left.
yeah.
Oh no.
I mean, so there
Like
is there's
especially
always
God,
there's always Surya, Sky who makes his debut after 30.
no,
So
but
there's that.
no. The point isn't to make like it's okay to make a debut after 30 because we also have Varun Chakravarti who's joining the cricket
Yeah.
team at 33, right? But like people want to play for the country for a very long
Mm.
time,
Long time. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
and
that time's diminishing for him.
yeah, like
Mm.
look at how old Gill is, and he's been around the 11 for the last like 4 years,
Yeah.
Hmm.
and Gill's younger than Rutu,
Absolutely. Yeah.
or even
Well,
Pant.
hoping for a good season for Rutu in both, his captaincy plus the bat. Moving on to captain number 5 and the last captain that has been retained by the same franchise in the same role. Um, this is Paddy Cummins for SRH.
Holy smoke! Now we can talk about the team though. Oh my God, that's a
Have you
bombshell
seen?
of a team.
I mean, their lineup, the way it's turning out, and the way and the form that Ishan's. I mean, it's a internal match practice, but despite that, if someone's smoking runs at
That
that
man's got
pace,
a point to prove, right? Because
yeah, yeah,
BCCI gave him a lot of flack, and then not being picked in
Mumbai.
any of the squads.
Mm.
Uh,
What happened in the local game? What? Yeah, the
he
internal
smoked
Ah,
game, you
like
think?
he
they played an
smoked 60
internal
odd
game
70
within the
odd.
team
Or internal game?
Thir-
in
30
two
ball
back-to-back big
60s.
scores.
Yeah, 30 ball. I mean, it was a over 200 strike rate in both the games, and big, over 50 scores in both as well.
I feel like
I mean,
if the team
that's
gone.
Sorry.
now
Yeah.
that squad is one of those really dangerous squads. It's turning out to be like a New Zealand where you lose 2, 3, 4, 5, and there's still firepower that's going to rock up and whack you up.
Yeah, look at the all-rounders. Nitesh, Abhishek, Kamindu. I'm not too sure about Vian, but
I mean, the
yeah,
squad goes like you have Abhishek and Travis Head.
Tanks,
You lose
bazookas.
Abhishek, Travis Head. They fail.
yeah,
Ishan would rock up. They
yeah,
fail. You have Klassen coming up. He fails. You got Nitish coming up. You'll have one, Kamindu or some other. Then you have Paddy
yeah.
Cummins, and then look bottom down. You
My God,
got
look at the bowlers.
Shami at the as you're leading the
Yeah.
Wolf pack. So it's one good team to
Oh,
have.
Yeah.
I don't think Shami's gonna lead that wolf pack. It will be Paddy Cummins.
Yeah, it's got to be Cummins.
True, true, true. And
But but
Paddy Cummins, he's SRH have always banked on overseas players as captains. They
Mm,
barely had any locals, and um, yeah, this year SRH and with the team combination and Paddy Cummins' captaincy
mm.
style, I think this is they are
The
touch wood. I can see them easily in playoffs. And I can see them heading or almost
mm,
securing a spot in that finals as well.
yeah, I think it's the most aggressive team they had, like anyone can make. Like Travis Head, Abhishek Sharma. Like
yeah.
I reckon Pat Cummins probably has the easiest job of captaining a team in this whole line of teams. He can literally be on autopilot because even the craziest, like the players that he's got, they're all so experienced that he can just be
Mm.
like, "You do you, you know what to do here. I got this." So he can literally just go autopilot and just relax.
I
Yeah.
just I just want the openers, Travis Head and Abhishek Sharma, two lefties, just rocket. Just oh my God.
That's how they
Man,
play anyway, so they will
Yeah,
definitely
it's how
rock
them.
it.
uh,
Yeah.
um,
But
yeah.
I think
So
yeah, as Raj said, I think
Paddy,
it'll be easy, just autopilot. Put yourself in the slot. We may change one or
yeah.
two.
But if the team doesn't do well, oh, it looks so bad. Because this for me on paper is the best
Mm,
team of the tournament.
Okay.
Um,
a lot of pressure
Just
already.
putting
Yeah.
it out there. There were years where SRH had one of the best teams. One of those formidable teams, and those years they were essentially fighting for the bottom spot of the table, not for the top spot. So
yes.
there's that pressure, and
Sorry, Chai.
putting
I
it
think
out
you're
there.
getting it confused with RCB.
No, 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 no. I'm not. I'm not. As much. I mean, the two teams that I'm supporting, I've
Yeah.
always supported. I just trade slots is SRH and RCB. This year I put RCB ahead of SRH. So I did last year, but they did. Um, but yeah, this team have always they've had even it goes back to the earlier squads. They had teams with Gilchrist, Rohit Sharma, Andrew
Mm,
Simons, and all in the lineup, and they were at the bottom of the table. The next season, they won the tournament. This was before.
no,
This was when they were called Deccan Chargers. The original
they can charge.
OG
Yeah.
SRH. So they've always had this hit and miss of a really good score on papers, but the version that turns up to the field is very different sometimes. So I hope it's not that until finals,
Knock
but
on
in the
wood.
finals,
I'm
I
not
want
knocking on any
them.
wood. I don't want them to win. Like if there's one
uh,
team I don't want IPL to go to, it's SRH.
all right.
Like I
That
feel
was
like
the last five.
Paddy Cummins has got enough trophies in his closet. We don't need to add
Yeah.
any more.
We don't need more. ads coming out of Paddy Cummins. Holy.
So Paddy Cummins was the last of 10 captains that have been retained by the same franchise in the same role. We're now going to move into 5 debutants, either for the role or for the franchise in that capacity. Let's start off with the big boy, big money boy, Rishabh Pant, who did a switcheroo to LSG. We all know who was there last season at LSG and how what happened to that conversation between the franchise owner and
That
the
sweet
captain.
boy.
So Rishabh Pant, explosive player, pretty good unorthodox way of playing cricket, but was restricted to only a drinksman for the Champions Trophy.
I think he has a point to prove that hey, I can't be
Yeah.
number 2 in the pecking order. I need to be at the top. I'm really good. But second, I also think um, T20 and ODIs are not his best format. I think Test matches is where it's at for him. Um, but let's see what he does. So far,
Yeah.
I'm fairly underwhelmed by his batting performances in the IPL, although he averages
So
like 35 or
yeah.
something, and with a decent strike
He's
rate. But
And
I want
also
more.
this season, he is the expensive player in IPL
That
history.
means
So
He
that
better
means
either he does
lots of
really well or
pointy
he's
fingers.
ready for another lecture. He's
exactly.
ready for another lecture.
No,
Yeah, either,
lectures are
either,
not the problem, right? It's having public lectures is the problem.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Oh no, that's the thing. I
I,
think
I
he's got
was,
that
I'm
weight on
okay.
his shoulder. Yeah.
I'm okay if I get called into principal's office and get lectured, not told by the principal in the hallways.
Yeah. Like I
Oof.
think someone asked, you know how like there's like
Yeah.
YouTubers or TikTokers who like go and ask questions. Just like
Yeah.
that, I think someone asked a question to KL. They're like, "What do you hate the most?" And he goes, "Disrespect."
Oh yes. Man, that
Yeah.
that that one statement had a loud cry around his decision to move or split ways from LSG.
I guaranteed.
But since then, there were a couple of interviews of the owner himself on his vision for this team and his intention for
Mm.
cricket, etc. So I'm sure the PR team there is working as hard. One,
They're
they
gonna have to
desperately need
work
to
way
get,
harder than
Yeah.
yeah,
um,
To
what they've
flip
done so
the
far.
yeah.
yeah. and
Because
and I think if if Rishabh doesn't deliver to the price tag put on him, yeah, it'll be an interesting season and
Unsold.
interesting
nah, no
postseason
way, no way,
conversations.
no way. He's too good to be unsold. Um,
Well, let's see.
Yeah,
That's what Chai is saying, right? If this season becomes one of
now
those. So he's been
he
dropped
he
at the
probably
national
will
level.
not be
Yeah.
retained because
it's too expensive to be
that's
retained.
almost 1/4 of their player budget spent on one person, and if that person doesn't deliver,
Yeah.
yeah, and history has it, IPL history has it that the expensive players are not the
Don't
best
do well.
performers in the season.
Well,
It's gone with
Oh,
grades of
sorry, Rishabh.
Yuvraj Singh. Every expensive player had a real bad season
Mm.
in the next in that IPL.
well, we've got a few expensive players this year. Then let's see.
Yeah, that's where we're going to move on to the second most expensive player in this season of IPL plus IPL history, and a man on a mission. He's again one of those guys that has a bone to pick with BCCI. He's already made statement in Champions Trophy. Shreyas Iyer
Oh man,
uh,
oof,
finding a new
that guy.
house under
Like,
Pakistan. Sorry, Pakistan. What the hell, man? Yeah, I just got Punjab
We
Kings.
know PSL is happening at the
yeah,
same time, but still.
Sorry, I'm confused.
BCCI did something crazy there. Damn.
Punjab Kings, a team that's, I'm going to say this is Australia, a mini Aussie team, because coach
Mm,
is Ponting. They picked up like 3-4 players from Australian squad as well.
mm,
And Shreyas, who is technically the return, or he's basically is the current captain that's holding the IPL, but not
mm.
with this franchise. So he's a he's coming off a high of winning an
Yeah,
IPL tournament. Uh, and a lot has happened in the cricket world in the international arena in the last year, but comes with a strong performance in Champions Trophy. Played a crucial innings in the finals. He's got all the high and momentum
yeah.
required, moving into a new franchise.
It's
And a
not
great
just that.
coach, the
No,
experienced
no,
coach. Yeah.
but it's not just that. Okay, after the BCCI snub to Iyer on the BCCI
Mm,
contract, Shreyas Iyer has won the Syed Mushtaq Ali tournament. He's
Yeah,
won the Ranji Trophy. He's won the Vijay Hazare. So there's
mm.
if there's anything available for him to win in the last
He
year,
won.
he won.
Mm.
And he
and he's in
performed like for me, Champions Trophy Man of the Series should have been Ayer because that man came
absolutely.
clutch every single game,
Yeah.
every single game.
And the whole return to the squad was an accidental return, right? He was never the first pick,
Thanks to
and
Kohli's
somehow
ankle.
Kohli gets injured, and exactly, Kohli gets injured. He comes in, delivers, and Jaiswal
They're
gets
like,
the
ooh.
axe.
Yeah.
But yeah, new squad, uh, pretty experienced crew
Australian squad.
around him, and he's got vast amount of experience. We've
Mm.
just listed his resume for achievements in the last year. So he is a man to watch in this tournament. Uh, Again, Punjab is one of those squads that has never won the trophy as well. So yeah, there's a lot out there.
I mean, I reckon if Ayer wins this trophy, make him some sort of captain in the Indian setup.
Has to. Yeah, he deserves that. Given
Yeah.
if he makes it right.
Mm.
Yeah. Moving from Ayer to again another veteran player. He's been in the realms for long, and I'm gonna say he's one of the best buys from a captaincy material perspective. Ajim Rahane for KKR. The price tag that he was sold at, and the vast amount of experience that he brings to the squad at that captain as a captain there.
What was he
And
sold at?
he
What was the price tag?
pretty less than 1 CR if I'm not wrong.
Oh
We
wow.
can get the stats guy on it. But yeah, they had Venkatesh Iyer, who was
Mm.
their expensive retention. Um, but they've gone ahead and picked Rehane to represent. And straight after the announcement, Rehane scored some really big runs at a quick pace in T20s. And I'm like,
Yeah.
man, and this is straight after the IPL auction, too. You should have had that knock leading into that.
But I think
I'm
he had a
happy he's the captain.
crazy
Yeah.
good snap. I think um, I think he was one of the leading run scorers for the team and had a very high strike rate. Like I think that series of his was very similar to what he did with CSK, not last season but the year before,
Mm.
when he would just come score at like a strike rate of 180 and he would get decent runs. But I feel like Rahane is gonna have a tough time placing him in like the top order of the 11 because
Yeah, yeah.
so far,
He's gonna
go on.
he has to come down. I mean, yeah, and with the firepower that they have and their approach of opening. Wait,
With Narayan.
who's that? Narayan.
Narayan,
Yeah,
Narayan.
Mm.
yeah. So there's no way that he fits in the top or even mid order. He's that lower mid order. He's
But Rahane
essentially
can't
looking
do that
at
one. He's not a finisher.
He's not, but I think that's the only slot that's
Uh,
left for him at this point
for me,
without disrupting the flow.
yeah, but for me, if Rahane needs to score runs, he needs the power play. He needs the fielders in the 30-yard circle, and
You think?
guaranteed, guaranteed.
Yeah.
Only when he's really fully set is when he can actually
Mm,
start hitting those like big hits.
mm,
Because he's if you look at the old school format of T20, right? You know how you have one player that anchors the innings all through 20 overs? That's your Rahane. Rahane can do that day in, day out. And that's why he needs to play all of the overs, because he'll give you that 80 off of like 45 balls
yeah.
if he's faced 45 balls. But if he
Mm,
comes in at the death, he's only got 12 balls to play or 20 balls to play. He
mm.
can't like get,
You
yeah,
can't, yeah,
yeah.
apply that.
Oh, I got
Just
angry
like,
at me again. He's
yeah,
like,
Stats guy got
how
angry
dare
again.
you? How dare you say?
Uh,
Oh, he's
welcome
back.
back.
He's back.
Okay.
You're on mute, sir.
Yes. Testing 1 2 1 2.
He's back. He's back. He's back. All right.
Sorry,
Yeah.
tech difficulties, but yeah, let's move on. We've got two more captains remaining, and both of them are debutants in their respective
Oh yeah.
roles.
Aksar, is it Aksar?
Yeah. Let's start off with Aksar.
Axel, Delhi.
Yeah,
I have no
Delhi
clue.
they did not reveal captain for a while,
Yeah,
and
because I
they
didn't
were
even
put
they
in
didn't
a
know.
they were in a tough spot whether to pick KL or Aksar.
Yeah. To be honest,
And they've
so I think the better decision was made. We're not picking Kale as the captain, just because
I think he can
when
perform.
you,
Yeah,
yeah, like when you give him the captaincy, the pressure of captaining just
yeah.
gets to him. Um,
it's it's visible on his face, right? He's no longer that happy chap, but the captaincy pressure is clearly on his face. But
I
Aks,
reckon we're gonna see a massive, massive tournament from Kale this year. Like the strike rate's gonna be booming.
Mm,
Because as soon as you make him captain, his strike rate goes
yeah.
down like 20 points.
um, but Aksar, we have not seen any glimpses of his captaincy so far anywhere.
Who's the coach? Who's the coach for Delhi?
Is it Langa? Justin Langa?
Ah, okay.
If I'm
I'm
not
not
wrong,
sure.
it is.
I've got no clue.
I think it is Langa. But yeah, we have not seen him as a coach.
Yeah,
Sorry, I'm
as captain.
wrong.
Oh, it's not Langham, it's someone else.
Badani,
Hemang?
Hemang Badani.
Oh,
Badani.
Hamdani. That's probably why
Uh,
Axel got made captain. Interesting.
yeah, he's a lefty,
Yeah,
spinner.
interesting.
But yeah, we haven't seen Aksar, so it'll be an interesting season for him. And again,
Mm,
he's been pretty prominent in the international arena. He's been pretty
Especially
consistent.
recently.
And again, he comes off with a similar resume as Pandya of two T20, two white ball tournaments under his belt.
Yeah, yeah. Plus, I think I feel like with him, he's very nonchalant, right? So he's got that combination of like a bit of bunt in him where
Hmm,
external factors don't really affect him while he's playing.
mm.
Like
true.
you saw him, right? He batted in the top order when everyone around was like, "Hey, how is this guy playing at number
Yeah.
four when you've got KL coming in the bottom, or this other guy batting after him?" But he came in,
Yeah,
and to be
Yeah, he
honest,
killed it.
Axer was the other pillar to
Mm,
us like performing really well in the Champions Trophy. So,
yeah.
um, yeah, same thing.
Now, I think my biggest when we're comparing his performance with the international here is this added pressure of captaincy, which brings in a lot more limelight on him, and he needs to be really quick on some of the decisions that he's got to make on the go, etc. So
That I don't have that much trust in him for. I think
yeah,
he'll come in with a cookie cutter plan, and if that
support from external.
works,
like
if it
like
doesn't,
Gil.
he'll probably look outside again and be like,
Mhm.
and then he'll
Hmm.
probably send someone in with some drinks
Mm.
to help him out. Uh,
Yeah,
but yeah,
and hopefully, yeah, we get to see something different, something more, some new prospects or new side
plus
of
Mm.
Aksar as a captain.
yeah, plus I think he's got KL on the field also. I think KL tactically is fairly strong, just
Mm.
not when he's in charge, is when he, like, it just hampers his own performance, right? So you can always ask
Yeah,
KL.
yeah.
But he's got Duplessis as deputy, right? So
Oh,
that's a lot of experience.
Faf's in this team
Fafs.
too.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Okay,
damn.
so he's got some support
That
crew
is,
around him.
Right?
oh,
That's a
Right.
lot of experience to,
yeah, Duplessis is amazing.
yeah,
Yeah. Oh, he'll
bounce
be
ideas
fine.
off. Yeah.
He'll be fine.
Cool. Yeah. All right. Now talking about Faf, let's talk about his ex team and the last team on the list. Hopefully, this doesn't define
RCB.
the table order, right?
RCB.
We're not defining the table order
I was
here.
waiting for that sentence from Chai. It's like, oh, he said the word last and RCB.
RCB.
We
Isal
got
Cup.
Namde. Isala Cup Namde. Yeah.
Isal Cup Pupu.
Let's talk about Rajat Patidar, who is
Yeah, he's the man.
at the time of recording, they just had a massive event the day before, yesterday,
Hmm.
formally announcing the squad, formally announcing the captain in front of a full stadium in Bangalore, or Bengaluru, which is what it is called now. Uh, yeah, Patidar as a new unexpected captain, because going into the auction and the way RCB pulled the team together, even in the auction, all fingers were pointing at Kohli to return to captaincy this year. But then they made it so dramatic, Kohli handing over to Patidar, saying, we have a new leader in you, and the entire team is behind you, which is pretty good, pretty interesting way to announce.
Drama. Love it. Love some
Uh,
drama.
and that, I mean, again, I'm rooting for RCB this year, but their fan base and their social media is all because of them not making it them not having a cup. And I feel either the internet's gonna break, or the fan or everything's gonna stop if they win the tournament this year.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Let's see.
Trolls is what
Yeah.
keeps them alive. But
Yeah.
Patidar had one bad England series 2 years ago, and then
Yeah,
he
but
gets
you can't call it
It-
one bad series. It was a
yeah.
terrible series.
yeah, and then he gets traded off to from Mumbai to RCB. It was his new home last year, and this season he's leading the team.
Yeah. But I think he's like, with the bat, he's really good. He did really well last year, and I have a feeling Patidar is gonna be the man who's gonna be that face of RCB from here onwards. Like, that's the messaging I'm getting from here. Um, unless he again has a very, very, very bad series, which I don't see him having. Um, yeah.
Yeah, and again RCB. Yeah, it's a wild run, right? 17 seasons so far. Um, and some of the stats, they never had, we talk about core team, core structure, and this is probably one team that never had a core.
Well,
It
they
was
had one,
it's always around one player,
One
right?
guy.
They just had Virat
but he,
Kohli.
he's as big as a core. That's the problem.
Yeah. There were some really staggering stats. He scored over 8,000 runs for RCB, and the next top scorer for RCB is Rahul Dravid, who did not play for like 15 years now. Yet he is the second leading scorer for RCB. That's how fluid they are with the squad. They are
Well,
a team
it's
that,
because they just believe in, like, hey, if you can't win us the cup, just disband it.
yeah, yeah.
Just disband you.
It's 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 essentially trying to pull together a few random players
Like,
and
for
trying to
me,
get
for
a
me, their
cup.
worst mistake was to let Yuzi Chahal go.
Ah, that I agree, but in the auction they had a lot of chances to recruit quite a different players. But they've decided to stick with the squad that they have pulled together now. Patidar, I think, has got a very. I think if I look at all the 10 captains, Patidar has got probably the biggest job to deal with, or one of the toughest team to work, one of the toughest uh, franchise because of the history that they
Mm.
have of not winning a tournament and leading them for the first time in the 18th season.
Yeah. I kind of just want RCB to win for Kohli at this point, really. The
Yeah.
man deserves one IPL surely in his
Yeah.
career.
Geez. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Let's see.
He's
Rohit's got five, Dhoni's got four. I mean, are you really a top player of India if you have zero IPL trophies?
Oh.
I don't.
It's
Well,
not
I
his
think
fault.
I think
There's
for
more
Huh?
players in the
for
team.
Hey,
at this point, RCB and Kohli, the attachment is probably gone beyond the trophy count. If it was to do with trophy counts, they would have started to lose that stardom, that fan base 5, 6, 10 years into running. Nah, this is now at
so
an all-time peak.
I actually think so. RCB wants Kohli because they know a lot of the fans are just there
Mm.
because of Kohli, right? But Kohli wants the trophy, which means with the transitive property, RCB needs trophies.
All right. All right. All the physics students that are tuned in, there you go. You just learned something new today. No, but it's a long time coming.
Yeah,
18, waiting for 17 years and entering. This is year 18, right? If it was a child, they are now majors, right?
yeah, yeah,
Hopefully, this is a season. 18 is a number, which I think is someone's jersey number as well. Who is it?
yeah, yeah. Not Kohli.
um, yeah. So those are the 10 captains. Now, I know this has been a really long episode, but final closing comments here. Randeep, top two captains for you from the list.
Ooh, gonna have to come back. Wait.
All right. Raj, go for it. Top two
Pandya.
captains.
Pandya will be my top. Uh,
Mm.
and you're on the second one also. Second
Yes.
one would probably be IF. I mean, like if I'm being objective, it should be Pat Cummins, but I'm not gonna
Oh,
say
I
it.
was just literally about to say the same thing. Yeah, I was literally about to say the
Yeah.
same
I'm not
thing.
gonna say Pat Cummins.
I've
I'm
got.
gonna say Cummins.
All right, go for it. Go for it, Randeep. Then
I,
you've got your names.
yeah, I'm gonna say Ayat and Cummins. There go one or two.
Ah. All right, I'm gonna go with Cummins and Rahane. I feel Rahane is the dark horse.
Mm.
He brings in. I think Rahane and Cummins bring in a lot from that captaincy perspective into the squad than any other captain in that
I think
list.
so the reason I didn't pick Rahane was because if the team doesn't do well in the first 4 to 5 games,
Mm.
I reckon Rahane might lose his captaincy. Just because,
Well,
not because he'll be a bad captain, but placing him in the 11 is just going to be so tricky. And part of the reason they'll probably lose in the first 4 games will
Just
it's actually
because
two
of
things.
where do we place him?
No, but
Yeah.
it's actually two things, right? They'll probably win also because of where he places himself, but they'll also lose. It'll be the same reason. It's the fulcrum, because it depends on if he can score the runs or not.
you know what, Raj? In 4 days' time, Rahane is going to be put on test straight away. He's part of the
Oh yeah,
opening game,
yeah, of
and
course
he's
they're the
gonna
winners.
he's gonna play the other captain that we spoke, who's got the toughest job against Patidar. So the opening game is between KKR and RCB in 4 days' time from the recording. So it's all going to be we're going to unpack all of this more in detail, and we're going to we'll do a bit of a rundown of the
Mm.
teams and upcoming matches pretty soon, well, and during the IPL for the next couple of months. Well, on that note, thanks folks for tuning in. It's been a long episode, but 10 captains, 10 amazing players, 70 days of madness in front of us. Yeah, keep tuning into this episode to catch up on all the juicy tidbits in and around the fields. Watch our previous videos, like, share, subscribe, comment. Do tell us who your favorite captain is from this pack.
Tell us
Thanks for
all of
tuning
it.
in. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.